What is up, everybody? Welcome back to episode 61 of Thinktwice, the magic and pop culture show hosted by me, Justin Parnell, and my co-host, Ali Aintrazi. This is usually where you add in a part about Maggie off the bat.
I'm not saying anything right now. I'm just not gonna talk.
Okay. All right, interesting.
So hosted by Justin and Justin.
Okay, great. I mean, let's see how long I can go. So this is usually the part of the show where we tell you what we did last week, and since Ollie's not going to be talking, I will just let you know what I did. I played some Pokemon Go on Saturday, did a bunch of Moltres raids.
What's a bunch?
I did 8.
Okay.
Which I think is a bunch. I think that counts as a bunch, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Did 8 Moltres raids, caught 7 of them, all but the last one, and got 1 shiny. And after the first raid, I reached level 37, which is, I know, milestone. Level 37, and got over 100 items between leveling up and finishing the raid. And then just continued to raid for the rest of the day. I actually sent you a picture where my bag was like, my Pokemon Go bag was over encumbered by like 250 items.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, so at this point, I have now bought more bag space with actual dollars, which I haven't spent money on that game in a really long time.
Praise be.
But here we are. So that was fun. I enjoy it was another community, I guess, kind of community raid day, where they have one of the level 5 raids, except they're not level 5, they're really level 4, which is good because you can beat them with like 4 or 5 people. So we were just plowing through these Moltres with double rock Tyranitar. It's good times.
Yeah, apparently you can like solo it if you have enough of them.
I think you'd have to have the right.
I think it was 6 double rock Tyranitars.
Yeah, and you have to have the right weather. But
sure.
I mean, we easily did it with 4 people, very easily. Sure. Yeah. So that was fun. Are you gonna talk, or do you want to?
I've been talking. Okay, well, so my Saturday, which is the day for the Moltres Day.
Yep.
Elizabeth's birthday was on Thursday, so we decided to celebrate it Saturday. So she came down. We drove downtown and did some Moltres raids.
Okay.
I think we did 5.
Okay.
5 or 6.
All right.
I caught 2 shinies.
Wow. Look at you.
Yep. Elizabeth caught 0 Moltres and 0 shinies.
She caught 0? What is she doing? She's just throwing balls to the left and the right?
Oh, I noticed that she was just throwing the balls.
Oh, she wasn't waiting for it to attack.
No. No curveball throw, which so when you curve the ball, it gives you like a 20% increase to catch it or something ridiculous. So I tried to catch one for her, but she kept giving me the her phone when there were like 2 Pokeballs left, and I was like,
yeah. She gets you down to it where it's like you have 0%, like you have very very minimal chance to mess up, and it's like, well, you didn't catch it for me, thanks.
No, it's all good. So then after that, I bought her cupcakes. I didn't know what kind of cake to buy her, so I just bought her like an assortment of like 5 or 6 cupcakes.
Chocolate.
I got her chocolate, peanut butter.
Yeah, you should have just got chocolate.
Upside down chocolate cake. Then right side up chocolate peanut butter dark chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Cake.
Yeah, so you just go with the chocolate. That's just the answer.
And then after that,
and Elizabeth, if you're listening, let me know if I'm right.
She's listening.
Okay. I know, Ollie, but she can't respond to me right now because we're recording a podcast. So,
okay.
Elizabeth, if you're listening, let me know that the chocolate was the correct choice, as I guessed right off the bat.
Okay, then after that, my gift to her was going to doing painting with a twist. It was like a blacklight party painting with a twist.
Yeah, and you did Twister and painted at the same time.
No, that would have been fun though. No, we went into like a room with like black lights and we painted a champagne glass, and the painting basically like glows in black light or just responds to black light.
That's actually really cool. All joking aside, I don't have a joke for this one. That's just cool.
Thanks. Yeah. Thank you. So we did
Yeah.
that, and then I signed my will, in case I die this weekend to the water, to the hurricane.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna talk about that too.
Yeah. That Elizabeth gets Maggie.
What?
If I die in a hurricane.
What do you mean Elizabeth gets Maggie?
That's what happens if I die this weekend in a hurricane.
Meredith and I should get Maggie.
So you better hope I don't die. Well, the will said, let the record show that if I die in a hurricane.
What if you die regular?
Oh my god, are you gonna kill me regularly?
No, I'm just asking.
Well,
This is a very reasonable question.
The will is just for the hurricane.
Oh my god. Is it Hurricane Florence specifically?
This weekend, yep.
So Hurricane just Florence. Hurricane Florence? Did you clarify? I don't think this is a real document.
Yes. Hurricane. If I die to any effects of Hurricane Florence this weekend, Elizabeth gets Maggie.
Okay, so all joking aside, Ali and I are recording this on Wednesday, September 12th. We are both pretty much in the direct path of Hurricane Florence. Ali, at this point, actually looks like you're more so than I am.
Yeah. I want to see Florence the Machine live, no, but not like this.
You're gonna see it real live.
Yeah.
Meredith and I tried to get tickets to Florence's on tour right now. Florence and the Machine, not Florence and the Hurricane.
I know. That's my joke.
Yeah, they're just too expensive for standing room only. It's anyway. But we're recording this on Wednesday, and we're about to get plowed by this hurricane. So, I mean, keep us in your thoughts, or do whatever you do if you're a religious person. If you're not, this is. I'm fully believe, and I guess I'll say it now because it hadn't happened yet, and I can be kind of optimistic. But I'm pretty sure that my house is going to flood again after getting all new carpet and having to. Yeah, I mean, I don't see a way that it's not. I just don't.
Can you prep in advance or anything?
No, man. It's not really. I mean, okay. I moved everything off the floor.
Yeah, sure.
I did that. I mean, everything that's not furniture. Like nothing can get ruined other than the house itself.
Sure.
So,
sure.
Other than the bottom of all of my furniture, depending on how much it floods, I just know it's going to happen and it's going to suck. But here we are. Yeah. So hopefully you are safe. Keep that Maggie safe.
I am.
I'll protect the Maggie at all costs.
I'm gonna get her a floaty and just put her just one. You know the floaties you put on your arm.
Yeah,
just one each arm.
Yeah, you put her in the middle of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, she'll just move her legs and walk.
All right. So we had a question of the week last week. We were talking about doing a guild test where you and I both did a test that Wizards had posted on their website to align you with the guild. And they've had these tests multiple times in the past. And the question was, does the guild that you associate with on the guild test match how you feel your Magic play style is? Ali, you're linked up pretty closely with Simic on both sides. I'm Azorius according to the test in real life, and I definitely am. And my play style is certainly Golgari. So it seemed like more people fell on my side. 63% of people said that they do not align with the guild they were put in by the sorting hat, the guild sorting hat, so to speak, to 37% of people that do match. So you fell into the 37%. I kind of fell into the 63%. This really isn't about being right or wrong. Just kind of wanted to see where everyone landed,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, this was just obviously I agree. This is just a where do you stand type deal.
But if we were assigning right and wrong, you would be wrong.
Oh my god.
But if we were, we're not. We're not.
All right.
So don't make a big deal about it. But if we were, you would be wrong. But it's not a big deal, and we're not. Just to clarify.
Thank you.
Okay. We want to give a shout out this week to Robert M. He is our newest Patreon supporter. And if you would like to support the show on Patreon, go to patreon.com/ThinktwiceMTG. We have a lot of great rewards tiers, including our $1 Augur Bolus tier, which gets you early access to the show, except for this week, which we'll get to in a second. Early access to the show, access to our Discord channel, and you get a one-time reward of getting an Ali and Justin exclusive Think Twice token. So those are very, very sweet. If you are listening on SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube, Stitcher, or Google Play Music, please take some time and leave us a review, whether it be a written review or a little 5-star review. That is something we really appreciate, you guys taking some time out of your day to do that. It helps us expand the reach of the podcast. So thank you very much for those of you that have done it, and thank you in the future for those of you that are going to do it after this episode. Okay, now the time that a lot of you have been waiting for is going to come after the break, because Ali and I have an exclusive Guilds of Ravnica preview card, never before seen. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to go over Guilds of Ravnica previews, starting with our own special card. Be back in just a moment. Oh, I have to say, I'm very excited for this.
On a scale of 1 to unknown, how excited are you?
I'm a 10. I'm a 10 because unknown
okay.
doesn't make any sense.
I'm definitely unknown because our card is definitely a secret.
So, all right. Before we get to this, you realize that what you're referring to, because our card is a Dimir card.
It is a Dimir card.
The Dimir have not been hidden since the end of the story of the original Ravnica.
It's not true. They're still hidden.
That's absolutely true.
They're revealed?
Yes. Yeah, the people know about the Dimir. They're not hidden anymore. They have not been for like 10 years now. 13 years. However long it is.
The House of Shadows is now the House of Not Shadows?
Dude, they've literally just been in public. Like, people have known about them. The entire Return to Ravnica story, they were known.
That's it.
They were known at the very end. People just been making these jokes for like 12 years, and it's like, nah, that's just not the case anymore. That was only the case. That was only the case in the very original Ravnica, and it's just not the case anymore.
All right, well, I'm done. That's it. I'm retiring.
You don't want to talk about the preview card?
Okay, preview card, then I retire.
Okay. So, first of all, we would like to give a special thanks to our friends at Wizards of the Coast, because they reached out to us and were like, hey, we want you guys to preview this card. Obviously, we asked for preview cards, and we asked for you guys to help us get a preview card. And we've got Icy Manipulator before, which was our first one, kind of. But 1, it was a reprint, which is not a big deal. But 2, it was kind of in Dominaria when that set was obviously spoiled too early. So this is our first one that no one knows about. Do you want to do the honors of saying the card, or do you want me to do it?
I'm doing it.
Okay, have at it.
Okay. You are now entering the House of Not Shadows. Our card is Dimir Spybug. You want to tell them what it does?
Okay. Dimir Spybug. Dimir Spybug is a 1/1 insect for a blue and a black mana. It has flying and menace. So this is a keyword that has been, or a keyword combination that's been showing up a little more recently. But it's a 1/1 for blue-black, flying and menace insect. And it says, whenever you surveil, put a +1/+1 counter on Dimir Spybug. And it has some sweet flavor text, which is, I don't want to say my favorite part of the card, but it might be my favorite part of the card.
Okay. Here's the flavor. Just
assume every conversation is on record. And the art shows these little bugs with gigantic eyes flying around, implying
Insects.
that yeah,
they see everything.
That they see and hear everything. They're recording everything.
So I have a question.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you have the answer.
I think I have the same question, and I think the answer is no, but I'll let you ask it.
Okay, I think you're right. So if I surveil twice, do I put 1 counter or 2 counters on this
So
bug?
if you play a card that says Surveil 2, I believe you just put 1 counter.
Okay.
And that I will say, like, so right now I think this first of all, this card is a primarily limited card. Generally they have some kind of like, they have like a build around card for each 2-color combination, right? So this is, to me, looks like one of the big blue black build around cards, because Surveil is the Dimir mechanic. So when you see Surveil and have this out, this is something that can turn into a pretty sizable threat pretty good. You're able to get this out early, and a lot of, and we haven't seen the full spoiler, the full set yet. So just obviously just note that we're kind of talking in with imperfect information, but I imagine that it seems like Surveil appears on a ton of commons and uncommons in Dimir, maybe more so than like any other guild's mechanic, just because it's something, it's a lot like Scry that appears, frequently on cards, which is an evergreen mechanic. But I think this is a card that can actually get out of hand and limited pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, I agree. And limited, this card can be pretty absurd. First of all, it's almost unblockable.
It's virtually unblockable. Yeah.
Yeah, and then it gets like, you get pretty like just it being a 2/2 is scary. It being a 3/3, it's like game over. It's like a yeah.
And I mean, like, if you play this on turn 2, this is a legitimate threat to just end the game, because by the time you get 2 blockers out, if you've surveilled, your opponent has surveilled enough to where you can't block it profitably. So
and I love how Surveil like chains with the Izzet mechanic too.
Yes.
Jumpstart, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah. And that's one of the things I really have liked about the set from what we've seen is it seems like the Izzet and Dimir and Golgari mechanics all are working together and very harmoniously, because they're all graveyard based to a degree. And they like, Dimir can help either one of them. Like, it can help the Golgari with their undergrowth mechanic, it can help the Izzet with their jumpstart mechanic. So Dimir seems like in this set it's going to be an excellent support guild. Now, as far as
the heroes,
they kind of are. As far as the viability of this card in constructed, I think, Ali, obviously you're the constructor master, but it seems like only getting one set with Surveil is going to make it difficult for this to make a splash, because you're pretty limited in the cards that you're able to help make this good, right?
I agree. I think this card is, I would say, almost strictly for limited. I think there's a lot more probable things you can be doing if you want to kill your opponent, even with something like this. Like, for it to actually start doing work, you want it to be a 3/3. And that's how to work.
Yeah, it is.
So, yeah, my vote in this awful. It's like an awful top deck. You want turn 2 or turn 3, maybe turn 4. But after that, it's just not. It's not a good draw.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of a liability. I mean, if this like, just to compare it to a mechanic that's close to it, I think this card, if it said when you scry, put a +1/+1 counter on it, and then all the Surveil cards just said scry, I think that could possibly be different. But it's not, and you have very few Surveil cards to work with, and it looks like this is going to be a one-set mecanic, so this is not a card I expect to see in constructed, really, of any kind.
I don't either. I think you need another ability, like if the spy bug deals counter damage to your opponent, Surveil 1.
Well, that would be really powerful.
I still think it would be fine though, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't think it would be too good. It would be a rare, probably.
Yeah, it'd be rare.
But I mean, that would be a very good card. That would be a very good card. But as someone who loves to draft, this is a card that I'm looking to pick up early and build around, because it is extremely powerful, especially in blue and black when it looks like blue. The Dimir is kind of the tempo guild in Guilds of Ravnica. So being able to just offset your opponent and then get in chip damage over the course of 3 or 4 turns is going to put you in a winning position more often than not if you have this card within the first few turns of the game. So I was excited about it. I'm more of a limited player than Ali is.
Yes.
But I mean, that's, like I said, I am excited to play with this card when it comes to Guilds of Ravnica Limited. Okay, so moving on from our preview card, we kind of want to just go over a handful of the cards that have been previewed. Obviously, we're not going to go over every single one of them, but we kind of picked our favorite ones that have been previewed as of today. And again, this is Wednesday that we're recording on September 12th. So chances are this podcast is going to come out and you're like, why didn't you talk about this card? Well, might not be out yet. So, Ollie, what do you want to start with?
Let's start with the biggest one in the room, aka the elephant in the room.
The biggest one. So you want to talk about the
worm?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
No, Assassin's Trophy.
Yeah,
the card that's making
people go
crazy.
It's making me kind of fan myself off. Whew.
Yeah, this is
it's hot. It's a hot card.
This is like the hottest non-blue. I don't have the words for it. This is Golgari Mage's Brainstorm, I would say.
I'm trying to think.
I'm trying to. What I mean by that is, if you're a blue mage, Brainstorm's like one of the most, like one of the best cards to play with, because it does so much. And I feel like this is a similar spot for non-blue decks that are just like Jund or Abzan or whatever.
How about this?
Okay.
There are a lot of 2-colored cards in Magic. We can agree on that, right?
Yes.
This is the best. This might be the best 2-color card in Magic.
Yeah, I actually agree with that.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Abrupt Decay pretty easily.
Yeah, it is, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so for those that, if you're living under a rock, or maybe you just have like a spoilers but listen to the podcast, Assassin's Trophy is a black and a green. It's a 2-mana, same as Abrupt Decay. It's an instant, and it says destroy target permanent. Then its controller can search the library for a basic land card and put it into play. So it's basically a instant speed Vindicate for 2 mana that lets them get a basic land put into play.
Yeah, they do get to put into play untapped.
Yes, untapped too.
Yeah, I mean, it ultimately doesn't mean much, but the flexibility of this card in Standard, where the cost of threats are higher just because of availability of threats. This is good because the average cost of mana you're going to be spending, which is 2, to destroy something, is going to be in your favor pretty much every time.
Yes,
And then as you get into older formats, into Modern, and into Legacy, less and less decks have basic lands. And then once you start removing your opponent's ability to take advantage of the downside, I'm putting air quotes around downside of this card, this is Vindicate for 2 mana at instant speed.
Yeah, which is absurd. It answers so many things. It gives, it's so nice because it gives the black green decks in Legacy the way to interact with
Jace
Dark
the
Depths,
Mind Sculptor.
Jace Mind Sculptor for Sultai decks, which they've been looking forever. Also deal with Dark Depths type deal. Maybe in case you're playing 3 colors or not playing Wasteland, it's right there.
You destroy Sneak Attack.
You can destroy Chalice of Void still.
Yep.
You destroy Gurmag Angler, because that can be kind of hard because Fatal Push doesn't hit Gurmag Angler.
Yep.
And this does. It's just a fantastic card. And then even in Modern, it's great. It gives John the false hope of that they can beat Tron. You can destroy Tron land, and then
I think this makes the matchup not. I think this makes a matchup winnable. I'm not saying it is in John's favor,
Oh, it's definitely not. Yeah,
But
it goes from like 80-20 to like 70-30 maybe, or
maybe even a little better than that, because I
maybe
think
60. I don't know.
because I think you just play 4 of these in your deck.
Absolutely, but the thing is, like, you are just destroying their land. Like, they're still going to kill you with a Wormclaw engine or an Oblivion Stone.
Maybe.
Or,
I mean, I think this changes decks. I think this changes the makeup of decks, like how you are putting decks together that have this card in it. So
sure, sure. I just don't think it's like people think that this makes Jund like
favored. No, which is insanity. No, but
it's basically a one-shot Blood Moon against them.
Yeah, but the flexibility of this card is just.
Oh, I agree. It's really good. It's fantastic. I just don't think it's that good against Tron as people think it is.
Well, I mean, it is good, but it's not. You need more than just a. You need more than the best removal spell of all time, probably.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, but that's kind of where we are. But this card, I don't want to. I mean, we could probably talk about this card for an entire podcast, but we should. This is not the last time you'll hear about Assassin's Trophy from us or anyone else. So let's move on.
Okay.
Next one is, and this is a card that I was really excited about. Secrets of the Mausoleum. One in a black, instant, and it has Undergrowth, which is just a italicized keyword, so it doesn't actually affect the card. But it says, search your library for a black card which is casting cost is equal to or less than the number of creatures in your graveyard. So I'm gonna put this.
Reveal it now, Tran.
Yeah, reveal it. Yeah, anytime there's a rider on it, you have to reveal it. This is a card that I'm putting directly into my Yeheni deck, and it's just a demonic tutor that you have to show your opponent a card. That's it. There's no other downsides. I think in regular constructed, 60 or constructed, this is a combo card enabler or a silver bullet finder.
I mean, it's really good. Like, again, speaking of Assassin's Trophy, you just need 2 creatures in your graveyard to tutor for a trophy. And then after that, you can tutor for whatever else you want. We're in Ravnica, so this card doesn't get better the more Ravnica sets we get, and the more hybrid cards we see.
Yep.
This
more black cards.
Yeah, this card is sweet. This card is I also really like it. Like, I'm a huge fan of Masterminds acquisition, and this card also speaks to me.
Yeah, you like the interesting tutors.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I love tutors. They're really good.
Okay, moving on. One more Golgari card that I want to talk about. This is our first Planeswalker of the set. There's only 2, but we have Vraska Golgari Queen, and
she's the queen. Bow down.
She is the queen. She's the queen of doing everything I want to do in Magic. It's a Planeswalker 2, black, green for 4 loyalty. +2, you may sacrifice another permanent. Note, another permanent. If you do, you gain 1 life and draw a card. That's +2, so she goes from 4 to 6. Then you can -3 to simply cast Abrupt Decay. That's actually just cast Abrupt Decay.
Yeah.
And then -9, you get an emblem with whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Just loses it on the spot.
The Phage ability. Without the drawback.
Yeah. So this is just an excellent value Planeswalker. I actually think this is something that is playable in Standard. It's very interesting, but you tell me.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, the reason I think it's playable is because obviously it's a build army card.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of people like kind of poo-pooing it because its pluses.
It's foolish.
People are scared scared it's plus. But one, the plus actually can be a plus side if you build your deck right.
Oh, yeah. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah, I know you know. Especially if you're playing like things like Secrets of the Mausoleum or what have you. But also this thing, she costs 4, okay? And she starts with 4 loyalty. She goes from 4 to 6. That's a lot.
That is a whole
That's Karn.
lot.
That's Karn, Sign of Urza level, and that's a lot. And she can deal. And she can actually kill other permanents. I think she's great. Her ultimate is all I think kind of underwhelming, depending.
I think she's
But
just a value machine.
yes, like you want to be able to abuse her plus more than anything. And I think if you build your deck correctly, you'll be able to. And I think she will see center. She will see center play.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's I have my rose-colored glasses on because this is one of my favorite things. If you've heard me on this show or Commander Versus, is sacrificing my own creatures for value. And this says another permanent. You don't even have to get creatures, so you can sacrifice your own lands. Keep in mind, Crucible of World is in standard, so I think, like Ali said, I think people are sleeping on this card, and it is more powerful than it looks.
I totally agree with that.
Okay, why don't you give us the rundown on our next play, Planeswalker, Ral Izzet Viceroy. And I love this name. Izzet Viceroy is a sweet title.
Why don't you tell us what Viceroy means?
Okay, so Viceroy is like a person that comes into power basically when no one is in charge of a group or city or township or something. So in this case, a guild, right? So this is implying that someone, and we know that Niv Mizzet previously was in charge of the Izzet Guild, and based on the name Viceroy, that at some point stops being the case, and Ral Zarek is essentially offering himself as the leader of the Izzet. He's kind of taking over power on his own, assigning himself as the person to lead.
Okay, so Ral costs 5, blue, red 3, starts with 5 loyalty. His +1 is sleight of hand. Look at the top 2 cards of your deck, put one in the graveyard, one in your hand. Instead of putting the bottom, you put in your graveyard. His -3 is he does X damage equal to target creature equal to the number of instants and or sorcery cards that you have in your graveyard or in exile. And then his ultimate is -8. And it says you get an emblem with whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, this emblem deals 4 damage to any target, and you draw 2 cards. Literally game-winning ult.
Yeah, that's for sure. For sure. You cast one spell and then it's done from there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think Ral will not see that much play. I have a hard time playing Ral over Teferi, mostly because Jeskai is the go-to control deck in the set because of Steam Vents and because of the other dual land. What is it?
Well, there's just Steam Vents here, but because of Teferi, and the blue and white is firmly from what we have left over from Ixalan Dominaria Blot.
Yeah, they have two shocks though. It's the only control deck that's two has Boros, the Boros one. What's the Boros shock land called? I can't think of it.
Sacred Foundry.
Yeah, Sacred Foundry and Steam Vents. It's only missing Glacial Fortress, where the other ones are missing more. So it's the go-to like deck that we have for
control.
Control, yes. And Teferi's I think just better. Also, the problem with this card is you get punished for curving him almost. Like if you play him on turn 5 and you really need to kill a creature, it's going to be pretty hard for you to have to deal more than like 2
or 3 damage max.
Yeah, three is a lot. 3 is a lot. Yeah, I don't think you'll deal 3 if you're curving. And that's not good. Where Teferi answers other planeswalkers. Teferi answers anything that's not a land, and his plus makes him only cost 3. And with the Disdainful Stroke in the format, like Teferi just, I think the go-to. I don't think he's. I actually think Vraska is better than Ral.
I do too. I actually think this card is very boring.
It is very boring. It's just like Jason Unravel Secrets. It's just like Odd Mixless Reignited.
It's even just like Teferi, just worse.
Yeah, it's just plus draw minus kill something 8 ultimate kill win the game.
Yeah.
It's the go-to.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah, that's it for Ral.
Yeah. Okay, so then of course we have Niv Mizzet himself. Niv Mizzet is a 5/5 for triple blue and triple red. Can't be countered, has flying. And when it says this Niv Mizzet says whenever you draw a card, Niv Mizzet deals 1 damage to any target, and whenever any player casts an instant or sorcery, you draw a card. The text box on this card is incredible. Getting into play would also be incredible if you were able to do it.
Yeah, I think the deck's tap out control decks that don't rely on counter magic will be able to play him much easier because they'll have access to either the Is It Signet or Chromatic Lantern or Sarkhan Fireblood or Dragon Sword.
The Is It Locket, just to clarify, not Signet. There's no signets.
Yeah, Is It Locket.
Yeah.
So I think if you're a tap out deck, you can cast this guy a lot easier.
I think it's more likely if you're a Chromatic Lantern deck, if those exist, and this is probably a reasonable threat for you to have.
I mean, honestly, just having 4 Dragon Sword, 4 Sarkhan Fireblood makes him not easy to cast, but easier to cast, a lot easier to cast.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I mean, this is clearly a powerful card. I don't think anyone's disputing that, but it's getting it onto the battlefield is the tricky part.
Yeah. Also, his name is Niv-Mizzet Perrin.
Yep.
Is it Perrin or Perron? Perron. Perron, which means he's one of the originals. One of the original.
Like the initiator, maybe.
Of the guilds, yeah. Like he's one of the originals that's still alive.
So that's particularly important to note because the name of this card is Niv-Mizzet Perron, and Ral's is Izzet Viceroy. So those two things are at complete odds with each other.
Yep. Also, side note real quick, back to Assassin's Trophy.
Sure.
The art on that is Asperia's head. Vraska has killed Asperia, which was the head of the Azorius. But
yeah, okay. I'm sure. Oh, I have no doubt we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Either probably next week. And yeah, oh man, a lot of stuff on these cards with flavor, text, and art though.
Yeah. Okay. So next up we have the split card I want to talk about, which is also Izzet.
Sure.
I'm not sure exactly what the word is to split these cards is. I'm just gonna go with and. The card I'm talking about is Expansion and Explosion.
Okay.
This card you can only cast one side. You can't fuse them. You just can literally only cast one side. They're both instants. Expansion says copy. It's a twin cast. So copy target instant or sorcery that costs 4 or less. You may choose new targets for the copy. So it's a twin cast for spells that cost 4 or less, and it costs either it's a hybrid blue. It's hybrid blue or red.
Mm-hmm.
Then the other side is Explosion. It's kind of like Invoke the Firemind, but it's instant. So it costs blue, red, X. So 4 and X. And it says Explosion deals X damage to any target, then the target player draws X cards. So it's like a different Sphinx Revelation that costs 1 more.
Yeah, which I think is a really big deal.
Yeah, it costs 1 more, and it's Sphinx Rev is much better because Sphinx Rev gave you life to cast your cards, where this isn't giving you life; it's just dealing damage. But I do think that this card with Goblin Electromancer and Primal Amulet will make a deck. The fact that you can just go like turn 2 Electromancer, do it over turn 3, then Primal Amulet, all your spells cost 2 less. You can very easily start like flip Primal Amulet, and then start like burning people out or taking multiple turns with Thanks to Fate.
Yeah.
Or even casting Explosion. Like if you can pay 4 with Explosion, and then like it's reduced by Goblin Electromancer, and it's also being copied. Just paying like 6 mana, you're drawing 4 cards, dealing 2 damage twice is good enough. So it
is. I actually really like the expansion side of this card. I actually think it's quite good, and especially the fact that you can cast it with red.
Yeah, or blue red. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. I actually do like this card too. I actually agree with you. This is I think probably the one that I've liked the most of this little cycle. And we're not really gonna talk about the rest of the cycle because only a couple of them are spoiled. But once we get the whole thing, I'm sure in a later review we can dive into that.
Yeah, it's basically counterspell too. If your opponent has a counterspell, like has some sort of counterspell on stack. So.
Yeah, which is why the red is important, that you can do that with just red.
Yep. And speaking of counterspells, it has a spell called Ionize, which costs blue red 1 instant. Counter target spell, then deals 2 damage to that spell's controller. It's basically like a counter squall. Instead of losing life as damage, but it's any spell.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good spell. It's kind of like maybe it's gonna allow counter burn to be a thing,
or maybe wizards.
Or wizards, yeah.
Yeah, which is an aggressive blue-red deck, so.
Yeah, even in modern, I think this lets just kind of go lower to the ground, just and become like a burn deck if it wants to be.
Yeah, because they have lightning helix, lightning bolt, soundcaster mage, discard. Yeah,
Yeah, Wizards Lightning too. I would
yeah.
start playing Blink like just like literally just ditch all the big stuff like Teferi and everything and the Supreme Verdict. Just go Wizards, play all the bolts, and then play Ionize. And then the other counter spell, which if you're not playing red, you play it's gonna be Sinister Sabotage. This is basically dissolve
From Theros, yeah.
Instead of scrying, you just surveil one. So you can like look at the top part of the library and put in your graveyard if you want.
Yeah, I like Sinister Sabotage better overall, but
Me too.
Ionize will be better in the decks that it's in than Sinister Sabotage will be overall. Does that make sense?
Yes, Sabotage I think is very important for control decks because you need to get land drops, and Sabotage helps with that. Where Ionize just kills your opponent, which is important, but
ultimately, yeah.
But for control decks, you miss a land drop could mean you lose the game.
So we have Ionize as the kind of the is it counterspell, obviously one of the blue guild in this set, and then Sinister Sabotage is the other one. So that's Dimir. So for Dimir cards, we also have a nice. I don't want to say this is a replacement for Torrential Gearhulk, but it's kind of it's the next thing, and this is Dream Eater. Dream Eater is a 4/3 Nightmare Sphinx, which is an awesome type line. Yeah, super sweet. For a 4 blue, it has flash and flying. And when it enters the battlefield, you surveil 4. So you look at the top 4 cards of your deck, you can put them back or put them in your graveyard. In any order. When you do, you may return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Opponent controls. So you bounce something, you surveil 4. You have 4/3 body left over.
It's important to know that it's worded this way so that you surveil 4, then bounce something, so you have all the info.
Yeah, exactly. So you have all the information, and it doesn't. It makes sure to put that so you don't play it wrong.
Yep. I think it's a lot worse than Gearhulk, sadly.
Well, I mean, yes. I think Gearhulk is a special card.
Yes. I think this card dying to Lightning Strike and Wizard's Lightning, just having 3 toughness means it's going to be very hard for it to actually give value in combat. But I've also seen control decks win with worse cards than this.
Yeah.
So
sometimes the threat doesn't matter as much as the flexibility of the threat, right?
Yeah. The biggest thing on this card is it has flash. That is literally the biggest thing.
It has flash. It can remove a blocker, and Surveil 4 is virtually drawing a card.
Yeah, sure. I agree with that. Especially if you play like Narcomoebas in your deck, you can just like. Oops.
Oh yeah.
Here comes Narcomoeba.
Narcomoeba is a sweet reprint. Now that I'm starting to see this set, I actually think it's a pretty sweet reprint.
Oh, for sure. I'm just scared of like dragons jumping in front of this thing, like demanding dragon or Lyra or whatever.
Yeah. I wish it was a 5/4 instead of a 4/3, but
or a 3/4. But yeah, this is what it is.
Or a 3/4 also. Yeah. Okay, next up in Dimir still
is Thought Erasure. This is blue and a black, 2 mana, sorcery. Look to our player's hand and can make him discard a non-land card. Especially Thoughtseize without the life loss for 2 mana, and then a Surveil 1.
Yeah. There's that Surveil, like, just 1 or 2 just on every card. Every card in Dimir.
I think this card is really, really, really good. It's going to be 100% staple of the format.
Yeah.
It's just it's better than it's better to transgress the mind, and it also lets you surveil. Like imagine transgress the mind had Scry 1 and could get any card you want. Like this card's really good.
It's very, very good.
Yeah, if you I agree. This is a really good card.
Also historically, and we don't know this for sure, but historically, Ravnica sets have caused the format to slow down just because they encourage people to play multiple colors. So getting your mana set up in the first few turns of the game is more important. So this costing 2 isn't as big of a deal as it might have been in the last 2 years. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also think it's awesome that it has Surveil, because it allows control decks to play these main deck and hit land drops and get threat out. I think it's a fantastic card.
Yeah, I think it's very good too.
Next up, we're not sure on the name of this card. It's still not fully translated, I believe.
Yeah, at time of recording.
Yeah, we're going to call it Reign of Notions. It cost 1 blue-black sorcery. It says Surveil 2, and then you draw 2 cards, and you lose 2, and deals. I think you lose 2 life. I'm not. What mine says is it deals 2, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be lose 2.
Probably so. Either way, you're gonna be at 2 life less at the end of casting this card.
Yeah. This card is really good. Another huge staple. It's very much like Read the Bones, which was underplayed when it was in Standard.
For sure. Yeah.
Read the Bones finally saw play towards the end, like as 4 of, and people like realized like how good it was.
Yeah.
And this card is better than Read the Bones.
Yes.
If you because of you can just bin the cards.
Now you had to be able to cast it. It costs blue and black, but still, if you can, then I think this card is very powerful.
I agree. This is you guys, people maybe don't remember Read the Bones, but if you remember Glimmer Genius, this is Sorcerer Speed Glimmer Genius for 3 mana.
Ollie is the biggest Glimmer fan who plays that card frequently in Modern.
Dude,
so.
I love Glimmer Genius. That card's so good.
Okay, here's a card that I don't see you casting, but
no.
I also think that, it's a big mana card, so maybe you will. March of the Multitudes. This is a mythic rare for Selesnya. X green white instant with Convoke. Create X 1/1 white soldier tokens with lifelink. Even though this is not a card that is really up either of our alleys, I do think this is a powerful card, even with Goblin Chain Whirler in the format, but that does dampen its power a little bit.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, that's true. But this card also has a power to just win the game out of literally nowhere. If your opponent has, man, being at 10 life is scary if your opponent has 4 of these in their deck, because they chain into each other. As long as you leave like 1 green, like let's say you have like 8 mana up, you leave 1 green back, and then you cast this for 4, and then you use the green and then cast, convoke the rest.
Yep.
And you can basically chain them out. Like if you have any creatures out, you can just like chain 3 out at a time and just out of nowhere deal your opponent 10 damage. I think that's pretty scary and pretty powerful.
Oh,
but
yeah.
But Chain Whirler is definitely like a
huge thorn in the side.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I like this because it fuels your other Convoke cards too. So it gives you tokens to Convoke with if you want to on your turn.
Yes. Yeah.
It's both.
This is good. Go ahead.
Sorry, last thing. It's good to convoke off of. It's also good to convoke with.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. If that makes any sense.
3 colored mana is a lot for the first one, because it asks you to have a lot of creatures into play already, but I mean, once you get going, also the lifelink on the tokens is not relevant.
Not all.
Secure the Waste was a standard staple and sees play in Modern. This is not Secure the Waste, because you generally Secure the Waste, you didn't have creatures in your deck. Like that was your way of creating creatures. This is a card that asks you to have creatures, but is more powerful if you do. So probably playable. I'll be interested to see where this card ends up. We haven't seen a lot of Selesnya cards so far, so it's tough to tell.
No, I do think you could basically do like a Naya tokens deck. Just cast as EOT, untap, cast Heroic Reinforcements, make 2 more guys, give you your ultimate +1/+1. Yeah,
that's a lot of life too.
Yeah.
The next Selesnya card we've seen that I think is very good is Conclave Tribunal. This is an enchantment for 3 and a white with Convoke, and it's just banishing light. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent opponent controls until it leaves the battlefield. This is going to be, if there is a Selesnya deck or a white creature deck, this is going to be a staple in that deck. Being able to play creatures and then play this immediately for 1 or 2 mana is going to be a common play.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, nothing too exciting, but this is just something I think we're going to see a lot of.
All right, I can't talk about the next one, so I'm gonna let you do it.
Okay, you'll let me do it. Okay, so this is an attacky boy. We have Legion War Boss. This is Goblin Rabble Master's ancient. I guess his nephew down the line. It's a 2/2 for 2 and a red with Mentor, and it says the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 Goblin creature token. The token gains haste till end of turn, has to attack this combat if able. So very similar, making 1/1s every turn like Goblin Rabble Master does, but doesn't quite pack the oomph of Goblin Rabble Master that can just hit for a lot on its own. But
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
in Standard, it's not gonna matter.
It's gonna be about in Standard. This is gonna be about the same. Uncontested on turn 3. This is gonna hit for a lot of damage over the course of 2 turns. So
yeah, you know I'm scared of though. Turn three. This guy's scary. But also turn 2 with a Skirk Prospector or Landware Elves.
Yeah,
this guy can deal some.
Yeah, turn 2, especially if you're on the play, that starts being significant.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, starts being significant.
Yeah, it's gross. It's really gross.
The other notable to me Boros card is actually probably going to be a control card. I guess though you can make an argument it could be both. Is Deafening Clarion. This says for 1 red white, it's a sorcery. Choose one or both. Deafening Clarion deals 3 damage to each creature. Creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. Now it's weird because it's just a card that if you have in a deck, you're only ever going to pick one option, right? Like I guess you could be behind in a deck that that you want to do the lifelink mode.
Well, I mean, if I had like a Torrential Gearhulk, I would choose both modes.
Well, first of all, you always choose the lifelink mode, right?
Yeah, there's no reason not to choose it.
There's literally no downside to doing so, which is why this card is a little weird.
I also do wish it was reversed. The fact that it does 3 damage first, then gives lifelink kind of sucks. Because if it's reversed, you could give your Boros Reckoner lifelink and then have it then deal 3 damage to everything. But instead, it's gonna deal 3 damage first, and then whenever it lives, it'll give it lifelink.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure what to make of this card, but it is a 3 mana deal 3 damage to each creature spell, which have been played.
Yeah.
So this will be played just on that alone.
I agree.
All right, we have an Ali card.
Okay, it's also not in English. I guess I also like the Golgari playstyle. This card is called the Vivid Renewal. It costs a green and 4, and it says return sorcerer speed. Return 3 multicard cards from your graveyard to your hand.
Yeah, so this is the guaranteed Ali one of in his 4 or 5 color Chromatic Lantern deck.
Yes, I'm gonna play this in its probably return Assassin's Trophy, Vraska, and Niv Mizzet.
Sounds good. Yep. All those that all checks out. That all checks out.
But seriously, guys, I just think this is kind of gross too. Like if you guys remember my old Chromatic Lantern deck with Gold Lotus and Omniscience, we have a very powerful card that lets us kind of combo off in Mastermind's Acquisition. If you have Omniscience out, it's also just a good target to cast with Omniscience. I mean, I don't know. If you have Omniscience, I guess you're winning the game. But this card is just sweet.
What card would you say is bad to cast with Omniscience?
Tranquility.
All right, you got me. Case closed.
This card just screams value to me. Obviously, it's slow, but Restock got 2 cards back. This card gets 3 cards back. For 5 mana, that's a lot of cards. That's a lot of value. So
yeah, just draw 3 cards of your choice. It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a U card. This is a U card.
This is Diabolic Tutor times 3.
Yeah.
For 5 mana.
Last one that we have to talk about is Nullhide Ferox. And
what do you think of this card?
Where did this card come from?
Some TV show.
Dude, I don't know what to make of this card at all. Not even a little bit. I will say this. I think this card is unplayable unless there is heavy discard in the format.
It is unaligned. So that's why it can't. That's where it came from.
I don't know. Yeah. Just from the wilderness. The wilderness around Ravnica. I just don't think that. I don't think it's. Go ahead. You go ahead.
We should explain what the card does.
Yeah, I guess so. That's probably a good idea.
Ferox. Yeah. It costs 4 mana. It's double green and 2 for a 6/6 with hexproof. And it says you can't cast non-creature spells. So while it's in play, you can't cast non-creature spells. Then it says pay 2, Null Hide Ferox, lose all abilities until end of turn. Any player may activate this ability. And then it says the last clause is the discard clause. If your opponent forces you to discard this card, you can put it into play instead of your graveyard.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part. If that is good, then this is good. If that's not good, then this is not good.
I don't know, man. This card actually is really scary to me because.
Is it?
Yeah, dude. I think you play this turn 4, then your opponent later next lets you wait. They pay 2. Like, okay, kill Doomblade your guy or whatever.
Yeah,
kill
sure.
your guy. You're like,
Assassin's Trophy your guy.
You're like, okay, I counter it. That's just gross. Like you pay 4 mana to try to kill your creature, and then counter the spell.
It's kind of Frost Tightening, I guess.
Or you Blossoming Defense it. I guess Blossoming Defense is more realistic. But that's really
Blossoming Defense is very unrealistic because it's rotating out.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, fair enough. But still, or just some way to save it, I think is just nasty.
I don't know what to make of this card.
Keep in mind when your opponent activates the ability, you are allowed to cast non-creature spells.
Yeah, because it removes it loses all abilities.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know what to make of this card.
It's hard. It's very, very different.
Sorry, I do want to talk about one more card just briefly. Guild Summit is an enchantment for 2 and a blue, and when it enters the battlefield, you can tap any number of untapped gates you control. Draw a card for each gate tapped this way, and then it has whenever a gate enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This will be the most fun card to build around for a limited period. You will probably play this in Construct only.
Yes. If we get Maze's End,
we're not getting Maze's End.
Which we're not getting Maze's End. I know we're not, but still, this is what I want to do.
Okay.
Listen, just let me.
I'm gonna let you live. I'm gonna let you live the way you want to live. Okay. It's fine. I'll let you talk about Vivid Renewal. No one's else gonna play that card but you. But we talked about it. It's all good.
Yeah. Also, yeah. Okay. Dar on this is Asperia, which. Yeah.
This is also a story spotlight card, like Assassin's Trophy is. Let me tell you, this story is not going good for her. It's not good. It's not good. Speaking of story, we're going to take a quick break, and there's no Guilds of Ravnica story this week, but we are going to go over the 3-part arc for Vivien Reid. Be back in just a moment.
So today we're talking about Vivien Reid. This is the story that Wizard was like, here, take this in 2 parts.
Here you go. Here's a story. Here's a 3-part story. We only have 2 weeks, so how about Friday? Okay. All right, cool.
And no story this week, so it's
sorry, it worked out. We can talk about a little Vivien Reid now.
Yeah, Vivien Reid's story is a lot of thoughts in action, and less actual tangible content, but I believe I've gotten most of the important parts, so I'm going to tell you everything we know about Vivien Reid.
Okay, we'll now be fully caught up on the Vivien Reid saga.
Vivien Reid was born on a plane called Scala. I'll get the story in a second. I'm just talking about her and where she's from. Scala was destroyed by Bolas. It was destroyed by Bolas because Bolas learned he learned that he could. Basically, there were two clans in Scala: the Nura and, God help me, Smargadi. The Nura were advanced civilization that Bolas decided to learn from. After he learned from them, he's like, you know what? This is all I know. Cool. He was at the plane. The Nura and the Smargadi, the two factions, while they were about to die, they combined their powers together to form a legendary weapon called the Arcbow. The Arcbow has the spirits of every creature on Scala, has their spirits in it, and they plan to use this to protect Scala from Bolas, but obviously it ended up happening because Scala blew up. The reason it blew up was because Vivien Reid had the bow, and her spark ignited, and she planeswalked away with the bow. Vivien Reid she's sworn to protect creatures, and she's able to take the actual spirit of a dying animal and put it into her bow to summon later, whenever in combat. Okay, so the story starts where we are on Ixalan. Vivien Reid is on a boat with vampires. She's has tamed or captured a Brontodon, and she's sailing with vampires to this royal menagerie that she's heard of, where there's tons of animals of all over the world, and she wants to go see that. Basically, to free them or see what's going on. She finds out that the animals are being used as quote unquote art and entertainment. By art, I mean like they're like gutting the animals and painting with the blood, or
fighting like a really sadistic circus.
Yes, it's not at all a glorious or royal menagerie. It's like it's vampire art, I guess. So she decides, she's like, okay, she has enough. She can't watch this anymore. She starts to fight against vampires. She ends up losing and passing out. While she's passed out, they take her bow away. Then she wakes up. They start torturing her to the brink of death, and then reviving her, go back and forth. And the person doing this is the Baron of Vernot, or Verno, and he is so the Baron of Verno, and he is obviously a powerful vampire that's able to fight his own against Planeswalker. But what he wants to know is how to use the bow. He doesn't care about anything else. Doesn't care about Vivien or giving the bow back. He just wants to know how to use the bow. Eventually, she is able to get the bow back, and then begins to show him how like his bow works. She ends up absorbing a monster sore that is like starving and skinny and basically dying already. She kills the monster. The monster dies, and she's able to get the spirit into her bow. And and they see that. Then they ask her to. The Baron asks her to summon the monster. Show me how to summon the monster sore. They keep trying. And they can't. And she says the bow is only attuned to me. Only I can summon the spirits. And he's like, no, I don't believe you. You're lying. And eventually, they're not able to work the bow. When she gets the bow back, she decides to summon a spider from who knows what plane, but she summons a spider. It's already pretty big, but then she casts a spell on it, which I assume has to be giant growth because the spider grows abnormally large. And then that spider fights the vampires. Then on top of that, she summons the monster store that she's recently absorbed into her bow. And the monster sore is not skinny, not famished, not starving. He's because he's now just a spirit. He's able to bite the Baron.
He's real mad.
He's really mad. He's really mad.
Real mad
at the Baron. Yeah. He bites the Baron, and he has the Baron like in his mouth, in half, like where on his torso. And he looks over at Vivien, and Vivien like basically like smirks. And then the monster sore chomps down and bites the Baron in half, like literally like breaks him in two. And then after that, a lot of action, fighting, and basically what happens is Vivien Reid destroys the royal menagerie, frees the animals, and then she planeswalks to Shiv.
Yep.
Or to Maggie.
No, well, are you sure Maggie's not in the arc bow?
Oh my goodness.
Maggie could be in the arc bow. That could be a spirit Maggie.
That could be a spirit Maggie. She's been summoned.
Okay, so I have a few comments and questions.
Sure.
One comment: the arc bow is pretty badass.
Yeah, it is bad. It is sweet.
Yeah. So the part where she's describing, like when we see the animal get absorbed. You know what I mean? When it was like the like when she like tapped the bow on the ground.
Oh yeah,
she taps the bow on the ground 3 times.
Yes, and then taps it again to open it.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet. And even though this story doesn't have, and this is a 3-part story, which Ali summed up in pretty short order. He didn't really lay out any notable plot points, but the story is very detailed in the way that it's describing.
Yeah, if you ever read Lord of the Rings, and you know, like you walk in the book, you walk into a room and he describes the carpet, the ceiling,
Yes.
each little dot in the corner, little every detail. This story's kind of like that. There's there's lots of detail, but the major points are there's not that many major points.
Yeah, and credit to the author Cassandra Call, who probably wasn't given a lot of plot points to work with, saying, okay, this needs to happen, this needs to happen, this needs to happen. You can fill in the rest. You can imagine this world in any way you want to. And I think that was certainly done. You get a lot of description. You know how Vivien feels about everything, not verbally, but just how she's thinking. And you get some backstory, but not a lot. We still don't know what happened with Bolus. Like, we haven't, obviously, I think you and I specifically would have loved to have seen an interaction with Bolus, right? Like Vivien interacting with Bolus, like that would have been awesome. We didn't get that. We did not get that. So I have some questions on that. We don't know exactly what place and time this happened, but we know this was pre-Azor time on Ixalan.
Yeah, this is after Vraska and Jace did their thing.
Oh, it's after.
Wait.
I think it
Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, it has to be after or before, because I think it's after, because the sun's gone and she's able to planeswalk off of Ixalan.
Well, that's why I was saying that I think it might be before.
Huh.
We don't know if Vivien is a present character or a past character. Like, we don't know that, right? She has not interacted with any other characters that we know.
I'm trying to think about Legion of Dusk and the vampires, and
that's the thing. We're not introduced to any other characters that we're familiar with. We do know that the Baron of Verno is familiar with and knows other planeswalkers. He brings it up multiple times.
Yes, he does.
That still doesn't necessarily mean anything. Maybe it does. I don't know. It's really difficult to determine, because that would imply that Bolus recently destroyed Scala. Because if it's in present time,
yeah, I guess so.
Then Vivien would be very young, because she should not be an old walker, right? So she would be whatever her age is. So 30s, potentially. Yeah. So Bolus would have done this in the pretty recent past.
Okay.
I'm just saying, I don't know. Like, I think it's unclear.
It's maybe I'm trying to see if there's anything in the story that I missed.
Well, I went back and read it too, and it's not. It doesn't provide any. It doesn't provide any context. I think it's on purpose.
Okay.
I think it's on purpose.
Okay.
We just know that it's on Ixalan, which we know has been around for a long time. We know that this is either before or after Azor. We don't know on which side. I'm leaning towards before, but it's really just a guess.
Okay. I'm just trying to
piece it all together.
Yes. Yeah, I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, it's
either way.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
We also see.
Well, I'm just surprised that she isn't like going after, like, nowhere in her story she says she's going after Bolus.
No, she talks about Bolus frequently, but she doesn't.
But never, like, she's not going. She's not trying to go and kill him or anything.
Yeah. We notice some terminology with some of the beasts she's using. She says she used a Palaka worm.
Yes,
specifically a Palaka worm. She uses a there was another one. She talks about a Shivan dragon, I think.
Yes. Yep.
And we know she goes to Shiv, which is on Dominaria.
Yes, we know she's visited Scala, Dominaria, Ixalan, and Zendikar.
Yes. So this still doesn't exactly place the timeline. And I don't know.
Yeah, her visiting those planes doesn't really help.
No, because those are planes that we've known about and have been, active in Magic for a long time, except for Ixalan, but we also got a backstory on Ixalan recently, so it still doesn't really help us.
No, it doesn't. That kind of sucks.
And that was something I was hoping. Like I wanted this to, I guess, assist more with our ability to place it in the story, and it did the opposite of that. I think it caused. I don't want to say it caused confusion, but it's so ambiguous that we don't know if Vivien is a character that we're going to be seeing more of, or if this is a character that's now dead that Bolas has killed at some point.
Yeah.
Because if Vivien is alive, you would imagine that Ajani would have some way to find her, as she seems pretty incentivized to battle Bolas and as a planeswalker.
Yeah, I agree, because Bolas destroyed her plane. So
she reminds me of Drax from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay.
And Bolas is her Thanos.
But she's not going to Bolas.
Well, I mean, she doesn't. Maybe she doesn't know where Bolas is. I don't know. She seems like it's like everything she does, like that's in the back of her mind.
Yeah.
What Bolas did to her. I don't know. Interesting. I think this was a pretty dry run for meeting Vivien. We got to see honestly, I think this showed us significantly more about the world of Ixalan, and specifically Leno, where they were, than it did Vivien as a person. We know that she has some sort of connection to animals, and she doesn't like animals getting harmed, and she has she's very green mage, for sure.
Yeah, she's definitely very green.
But I don't think that we got a strong sense of who she was and outside of her interaction with how she feels about animals. Like that seemed like kind of the extent.
Yeah, we do know that she's against civilization, and she wants to she does not like civilization.
Yeah,
and she wants to restore the natural order to the multiverse, whatever that means.
I wish we would have a green villain, because this is. I think it would be cool if you pushed Vivien in that way. One, to have like a female villain. Two, a green villain, and I think that's something that you could paint pretty easily, saying that she doesn't like civilization, she wants to be rid of it. Maybe she goes to extremes to do that because she believes she's restoring the natural order.
This is literally from Wizard. It says, now an experienced interplanar wanderer, Vivien has a new mission: destroy the cancer of civilization. Skala's fate solidified her belief that either you stand with her or you're the enemy. She wields a weapon of immense predatory power that intensifies with each passing day. One day soon, against the perfect enemy, she will unleash its awesome power and restore the natural order to the multiverse.
Oh wow! See, I didn't even know that. I just where does this? What is this from?
This is just
her little synopsis
biography.
Biography. Yep. Okay, yeah. Okay.
So I guess that one enemy has to be Bolas, presumably. I don't know. I'm not sure how you balance out the multi. I don't know. Frictions aren't good either, so I don't know. Yeah, I imagine it has to be Bolas, but it didn't say that.
Okay. Well, maybe it is. Maybe this is in very recent time, because Bolas has been doing other stuff. We don't know what.
I understand what killing Bolas has to do with fixing civilization. So. Or destroying civilization. So I don't know.
I don't really know. I don't really know either.
Yeah,
One last thought on Vivien Reid. I like the Planeswalker card like so the Planeswalker decks. They're like the intro decks when each set comes out.
Yes.
So the Planeswalker deck art, which I think is like Vivien of the Longbow, or of the Vivien of the excuse me, I think it's
Arcbow.
Vivien of the Arcbow. That art is
fantastic.
Is awesome. And on Magic Arena, that's the art that they have for your little player profiles, and I picked Vivien as mine because I think that art is awesome.
Yeah.
She also looks like Tessa Thompson in that art.
Sure. I think she's BA.
You can, I think, okay, yeah, you could say badass.
I can say whatever I want. I'll say BA.
Okay, yeah, you can say BA. You can say whatever you want. That's what Vivien would say. I don't have any idea what Vivien would say.
No, I do wish the art were switched from Vivien Reid to Vivien Arcbow, because that art is fantastic. It's
super awesome.
Yeah, it's her, and there's animals behind her, for coming from her bow.
Her eyes are like glowing green.
Yeah, it's miles better than the one we have in M15.
Yeah, and no, I mean, and the artist for Vivien of the Arcbow is Magali Villanueva, and the art for the Core 19 one is Anna Steinbauer. So, it's just different art styles, but Ollie and I think definitely prefer the Vivien of the Arcbow art.
Yeah,
yeah, that's okay. It's cool. A little bit, people like different stuff. Nothing wrong with that.
It's true.
Ollie, is anything else on Vivien Reid?
No. Hopefully we'll see more, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm
interested at least to find out what's going on with her, right?
Yeah, I am too. Kind of. There's a lot more things that are on top of my list I care about.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Can't find out about everything at once.
Yeah. Also, her story wasn't that intriguing. It was like, okay, like after 3 stories, I'm not left wanting more at all. So, and I feel like I didn't learn much. So I feel like I ate a bunch of sushi, and it was like kind of good. It was mediocre sushi. It was kind of good. Now 2 hours later, I'm hungry, but I don't want that sushi again.
Okay. That's a fair comparison. Okay. We're done for today then. We're only having 2 segments that we talked a lot about Guilds of Ravnica earlier, so we're going to take a quick break, and when we return, question of the week. So before we get to question of the week, for pop culture segment, we actually watched the movie Black Klansman over the weekend. And Ollie and I have talked a lot about this movie, and we have decided we're going to move this movie to the discussion of this movie to our Thinktwice flashback segment. Now, normally, flashback is reserved for our $10 tier on Patreon that gives them special access to flashback. However, for this episode of flashback, we're actually going to open this up to everyone to listen to. You will have to go to the Patreon page to access flashback for this episode, but this kind of gives you an idea of what we're doing on that segment. It is a not safe for work segment. It's not that we're always, it's not, we're not, cuss words are always flying about and we're talking about stuff that you couldn't listen to at work, but sometimes it ventures into things that we don't always feel comfortable talking about or what we would be saying on the podcast proper. So for this film, we felt it was more appropriate to put into that segment, but we are going to open that up for everyone else. So
hooray!
Yeah, and that is just for this week. But if you like that, then consider supporting at that Patreon tier to get that on a weekly basis. So, with that out of the way, question of the week. Insert terrible music here.
Question of the week.
That was better than whatever Director Choi put in. No doubt. Because I'm sure it was terrible.
Well, we'll let the people vote.
Question of the week. So we have one goal today, Ali.
One goal, one dream,
and that,
one mission, one bow.
And that is to unite the guilds of Ravnica.
Yeah, that's what Spirit's trying to do. But
to unite all of the guilds of Ravnica, we don't need a guild pact because Jace does a crappy job. We need one creature that is the embodiment of every guild on the plane of Ravnica.
Easy. I'm ready.
Okay.
You ready for mine?
Yeah, have at it.
All right, the new guild pact of Ravnica, the one that's going to bind all Ravnica together, make it one peaceful place, and defeat Bolas in the process, is 1000% Horde of Notions.
Why?
Easy.
Why?
All right, just
why
what?
Why?
Are you disagreeing?
Yes, for sure.
Have you seen? First of all, Horde Notions is all 5 colors, okay? And he is every. It's an elemental. It can do whatever it wants. It's every animal, every spirit, every bow, every pistachio.
What do you keep saying bow? We're out of the Vivien Reid section. I don't know what bow. Bow's not a creature.
Listen, I'm doing this whatever's in my head type deal.
It's bows. A lot of bows.
A lot of bows. And Horde Notion's just he's a furry boy. He's a furry cool animal. Unite the guilds, man.
That doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't. You have literally not provided any evidence that Horde Notion would unite the guilds. You've said nothing.
Okay, my evidence is look at his art. That's it.
Yeah, no, I did.
Look again. What do you see?
A blur. It's very blurry.
Animals.
Very blurry. Horde Notion is very blurry.
There's like it's like a hippo with like steam coming off of it. Then there's like a little fox back there. There's a goat. There's a little tiger. There's this other wispy type thing, this is how he's going to unite the guilds. You ready for this? Even the oldest tree folk was but an acorn when Lorwyn's first mysteries were born. Horde Notions unites the guild pact.
What does that have to do with Horde Notions? Yeah, okay,
that's his flavor text.
Okay, listen.
It's literally.
Okay, listen. I do have a question. I have a legitimate question.
Okay. All right.
Do you think so? It's all animals.
It's all elementals, all animals,
okay.
all the best furry things in life.
Okay. Does that include like polar bears?
Yeah.
Oh, Ollie. If it includes polar bears, then there's only one choice, and that's Chromat.
Why is it Chromat?
Why is it Chromat? Why don't you gander at the look at the art on Chromat? Chromat is the murderer of polar bears. He eats polar bears for breakfast. Those are the most dangerous bears, even on Ravnica.
Oh my god! But that's just only 1/10, not 1/10, 1/100000th of a tenth of a piece of Horde Notions.
You don't even know what Chromat is. Chromat is
nobody knows what Chromat
an elemental as well. Okay.
No, it's not. It's actually an illusion. You know why it's an illusion? Because it's full of BS.
That's not true. That's not true.
He's an illusion. He is definitely an illusion.
Well, that's fine, but I'm saying it's an elemental illusion. It's an elemental lowercase e, not uppercase e. Can you just listen? Can you just listen for a second?
All right, I'll listen.
Chromat can literally do everything. Okay, Horde Notions might do one thing really good, and that's return elementals from your graveyard to the battlefield. Guilds don't even care about elementals, man. No guilds even like them. They hate elementals.
That's
true. The opposite. You're taking something that they hate.
Is it love elementals? Golgari love elementals.
Golgari do not love elementals. They use them if they need to.
They still love them.
Chromat literally murders polar bears and giant crabs. Okay? You want the oceans and the sewers of Ravnica cleaned up? Chromat is the only option. It has its tongue sticking out, and you don't even know what its face is.
You don't. All right, this is
I think Chromat would be so confusing. It would unite Ravnica because they would all agree. They're like, what is that thing?
All right, this is my final say, guys. We all know how much people love dogs, animals, and cats. Horde Notions will just unite the people by just being alive, and you can have all the nice animals, and you can cuddle with them. And Horde Notions looks very friendly. He won't eat you.
Horde Notions does not look friendly.
And if your elemental pet dies, you can just reanimate it, bring it back to life as a friendly one. And my last thing I want to say is Chromat is fake news. He's an illusion. Please don't vote for an illusion for Ravnica. Thank you.
Look, if you believe in Chromat, Chromat will believe in you.
Is that your slogan?
No, it's Chromat's slogan.
Oh, I bet. Okay.
Chromat is more animals. Chromat is so many animals. It's animals that don't even exist.
Oh my god.
Anyway, there's obviously some other options. Progenitus. It's got a lot of mana cost in it. So there's that. Atog, because it eats other Atogs. So
yeah, Atog is like, I will keep Ravnica clean of Atogs.
Yeah, vote Atog to have your Ravnica Atog free, except for me. But I'll eat the rest of them.
That was really good. Vote for Atog to keep Ravnica free of Atogs, except for me. Atog. Like that. Good job.
There you go. Thank you. That's the platform Atog will be running.
All right. What about Progenitus?
Progenitus
is going to be.
He's
Choi.
So here I think that Progenitus would be a problem because you would go to interact with Progenitus and he just not going to interact with you.
Listen, he's the soul of the world. Okay. He's not interact or not interact.
And that's why it would be a problem, because
he's just going to walk around.
You're going to bring your problems to Progenitus. You're like, someone tried to dreadbore me, and Progenitus is like, well, I can't understand that. No one's ever tried to dreadbore me.
Okay, well, how's that any different than Jace being the guild pack right now?
We agree that Jace is the worst. He's a bad guild pack. Simply put,
he is.
He's bad at his job.
Yeah, he's bad. He's as bad as Chromat.
No, Chromat would be significantly better.
Don't vote for the illusion unless you're living in delusion.
See, now you're trying to downtrod other people, and that's not what Chromat is about. Chromat is about eating polar bears, being fantastical animals, and making sure the streets are cleaned up. Okay, that's all he wants. That's all he wants. Anyway, Ollie, where can people find you?
You can find me at twitter.com/Ali Aintrazi. My articles come up usually Friday at coolstuffinc.com. If you guys, this time it'll be up Thursday. I have a preview card. I'm sure you guys will see that. Also at twitch.tv/Ali Aintrazi. Find me there. And you can sometimes find me with Maggie cuddling up. And sometimes that's it.
Great. That was very helpful.
I ran out of a smart thing to say.
Okay. Yeah, I know. I figured that out last segment when you were talking about Horde Notions. Anyway, you can find me on Twitter at jparnell1. I'm also the host of the Grand Anniversary series on StarCityGames.com and YouTube. We are going into the last couple episodes of this season, so you definitely want to check that out, especially this next week if you like me doing things. That's all I'll say.
I like you doing
good, then you should watch. If you want to contact the show, you can do so on Twitter as well, at ThinkTwiceMTG on Twitter. And of course, if you would like to email the show, thinktwicemtg@gmail.com. You can also find the show on SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play Music. If you have time or effort, please leave us a review. That would very much help us. A short written review saying, yes, this podcast is great. They're a lot of fun. They talk about Magic and they talk about other stuff. And I like that.
Yeah, say podcast is great, Horde Notions, that's it.
Or just the first part is fine also. Or if you're on a platform where it's a star review, we would love for you to leave a 5-star review if you enjoy the show. That helps us out quite a bit. if you want to support the show, you can go to youtube.com/thinktwicemtg. Not only is the podcast on there, Ollie and I both have content that we are creating. Ollie's doing some more Magic Online from his streaming. All of his streams are getting posted there. I'm doing some MTG Arena content once a week. I've been doing Pauper and Singleton and Draft. All sorts of different stuff. Whatever's going on in MTG Arena at the moment. If you want to go to patreon.com/thinktwicemtg, you can support the show there, and we have a lot of great rewards tiers that give you stuff based on your level of support. Speaking of which, we have a new patron for this week, Robert M. Robert, thank you very much for your support. And Ollie, I believe it is your turn to choose our Patreon Discord Animal of the Week.
Dun, dun. Animal of the week this week is Bandit, and Bandit looks like a Yorkie. Bandit got a new harness, and Bandit's adorable.
Bandit is
so. Thank you, Bandit. You're the winner. You're the winner. You're cute, adorable. We love you. Congrats.
Congratulations. We want to give a shout out to our graphic designer, Amber West. You can find her work at amberwestdesign.com. And of course, every week to our director and producer, John Shea. He is behind the scenes telling us what to do and what not to do. And then when we do the thing he told us what not to do, he gets upset. That's pretty much his role, I think. He does some stuff with the sound and the video stuff too, right?
Yeah, he votes. Yeah, he
mostly yells at us. I think is his role.
YOLO.
He does good though. He does a really good job. I haven't been yelled at as good as anyone by Director Che. So keep it up. That's why he's an important part of the show. We also want to give our Agent of Both producers a shout out: Daniel Hunt, Matt Lindell, Liam William. Thank you guys very much for your support. We literally could not do the show without you, Ollie.
Thank you guys. You're the true MVPs.
The truest. Okay, that's it. That's the show for this week, guys. Be sure to check out Think Twice Flashback. We're going to be talking about the movie Black Klansman. That's going to be open to everyone regardless of your support tier. Or if you're not supporting the show at all, you can still take a listen. Ollie, thank you. I love you. Praise be to Golgari.
Love you too. Praise be to Horde of Notions.
Well, that just dies to Assassin's Trophy like everything else.
No, not Virginis.
Don't vote for Virginis, though. All right, that's it. Thanks, guys.
All right.
See you next week.
Guys.